Now, in this particular recap video, we are going to be looking at, of course, the major topic is still differences between the spoken Central Igbo tongue and Izugbe, the natural versus the artificially made. Now, in this particular recap video, we are going to be looking at Bekee's search for the Central Igbo dialect and the prominence of the Isuama and Elugu dialects. Okay. Now, as we mentioned in the previous recap video, the missionaries were trying to look for the dialect of the Igbo people that was most central. Now, they were looking for this so that they can use that particular dialect in doing their missionary work. Now, they went to many districts in Igboland, and in this district, the dialect forms of this district were taken. Now, they were taken and looked into in order to find which of them was more central than the other. Now, the person that was at the head of this work was actually the man we know as Bekee. Now, among the Igbo people today, Bekee is a very, very popular word. It is a word that is used to refer to the foreigners or the white people. But actually, it was the name of the man that carried out the research into the Igbo language. Now, it was this period of the 1840s into 1850s and even the 1860s. This was the period the man known as Bekee spent mostly in Igboland and working on the Igbo language. It was in this period that the Igbo people came in contact with him. And so that name became immortalized among the Igbo people. And that is why today you talk about the white people and you say Ndi Bekee. Bekee was actually the name of the language expert that was on ground looking into all the dialect of the Igbo language, trying to find which was, most central so that the missionaries could use it for their work. Okay. Now, during his time in Igboland, as a language expert, he saw that there were two dialects that were starting to show more comprehensibility, and he noted these dialects to be dialect groups, not particular dialects, please. These dialect groups were showing higher comprehensibility than the others. The two dialect groups were the Elugu dialect groups and the Isuama dialect groups. These were the two dialect groups that were showing a wider range of usage. Now, in the 1840s and 1850s, when he was on ground, he noticed that the Elugu dialect, as I explained before, the Elugu dialect corresponds more to where you know as Anambra State today. He found the dialect being used in Arochukwu. Arochukwu is so far away from where you find that Elugu district. Okay, Arochukwu is at one extreme point of Igboland. So he found that the Elugu dialect was being used in Arochukwu. So he noted that as a fact that that dialect must be more understood for it to be used in Arochukwu. Now, you also notice that parts of the Isuama dialects, were also being used in Arochukwu. And so he noted it down that also this Isuama must have, a wider level of comprehensibility. Okay. When also he was at Onitsha, Onitsha is closer to both Isuama and Elugu anyway. He noticed also that this Isuama group of dialects and the Elugu group of dialects must be more central than the rest of them. That is what he noted as the prominence of the Isuama and the Elugu dialect groups of the Igbo language. This was the work of Bekee. It spanned over a decade. It's almost 2 decades that he was working on this, and he was able to observe the Igbo people, get closer to the Igbo people, became friends with the Igbo people also. He understood the Igbo language to a very high extent, despite the fact that he is, a British man. He was from Scotland anyway. So that was what was looked into in the chapter 2 of the main video. The title still remains The Differences Between the Spoken Central Igbo Tongue and the Igbo Izugbe. We will look more into Igbo Izugbe in the next recap video. Thank you.